Black Op Radio presents 50 Reasons for 50 Years. Why the Warren Commission may be the greatest fraud perpetrated on the American public. Now your host, Len Osanek.
In this episode, we investigate the first-hand accounts of the assassination. Everyone alive at the time remembers exactly where they were when they first heard that President Kennedy had been shot. Colonel Fletcher Prouty, liaison officer between the Air Force and the CIA, was in Christchurch, New Zealand. Within seconds of reading the first paper he came across, photos of Dealey Plaza, reports of automatic weapons fire, he recognized that something was very wrong with the protection in Dallas. Colonel Prowdy explains.
I was on my way back from Antarctica, and I was in New Zealand at the time I heard about the president being shot. I was with a congressman. We were having breakfast. It was 7:30 in the morning. Having heard that at breakfast time, as just a little flash on the PA system in the hotel, we didn't hear anything else. We had no other news. So I went outside looking around, and finally out on the street I found a newspaper. And this newspaper clearly tells the story. I remember looking at it quickly and turning to the congressman, and I said, look, see this building where it is alleged that the killer fired from? See, the windows are open. Some of these windows are open. When you protect the president, when you're working on protection of the president, whether you're a military man on the job or a Secret Serviceman, you're supposed to send people there the day before, 3 days before, hours before, whatever, but to see that the windows are down. And then, you know the timing of the motorcade. You know when they're going to be at Dealey Plaza. You have a man out in the open who just does what we're doing in the picture, looks up at the building. If a window's up, he gets on his radio instantly. There are people in the building. So, hey, go and get that window down. Most of the time it's innocent. Some secretary raises a window. She wants to see what's going on. Right. But you control the building. That was not done. And it's clear in the photograph. A little bit of doubt when I first saw the paper that things were being done differently. I had worked in this kind of work. I had gone to Mexico City when President Eisenhower was president, working on his protection with all the millions of people around. We had to be very careful what street we took him down and how we covered the streets. So I'm familiar with the work. I don't do the work. It wasn't my job. I'm familiar with it. I've been sent on such jobs. As we look down further on this paper in the lower left-hand corner, and this is really an important part of this whole business, the same paper, lower left-hand corner of the front page, I'll read it to you. It says, the arrested man, not the killer, and not even the alleged killer, the arrested man lived in Russia. And from there on out, down through this page and back into interior pages is a whole story of Lee Harvey Oswald. Now, by the time this paper was printed, the police had not charged Oswald with the crime, which means that no reporter would have had a basis for researching files from all over the world, collating files and putting it all together, including a picture of Oswald in a business suit. Now, where did all that stuff get put together and prepared into a story that you could read on and on to the back pages about Oswald when he hadn't even been charged with the murder?
The Christchurch Star published this extra edition at around 1:30 p.m. local time, 6 hours after the assassination. Lee Oswald would not be charged with the JFK shooting for another 7 hours. U.S. and international media began publishing Oswald's background and identity as a prime suspect within 2 hours of his arrest. To this date, the origin of the Oswald portrait photo has never been established, and there are several different versions in existence. Stay tuned for the next installment as we expose week after week 50 lies the Warren Commission would like you to believe.